let's just jump into it, huh? So been struggling with aggressive decks in this format since Winota was banned because the format's just kind of gotten more greedy. Winota was a check on kind of decks like what we're playing now that don't really have a ton of efficient interaction to remove creatures, which has opened the door for things like Nexus of Fate and these Teferi-based control decks to really kind of flourish in the format. So what we're doing here is kind of entering the arms race today. We've got Growth Spiral and Uro, and even Song of Creation's technically a ramp spell, depending on your draw, to accelerate into a big play like Niv-Mizzet here. We also have Fae of Wishes to fetch various things out of the sideboard, including finishers like Banefire and Expansion Explosion, as well as go over the top tools like Mass Manipulation. So this build's a little bit different than the Temur Adventure decks we've seen around in Standard a little bit. We've seen builds in the past that play like Clover along with Giant to double up on mana that way. So this build's taking a little bit different approach with Growth Spiral and Song of Creation. And I kind of like this aspect because Song's a card where it can provide some real card advantage for us in addition to being a ramp spell. Hey, David ACU and Sermon, thanks for the resubs, folks. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and dive on into a few matches here with this and see how it goes. Hey, Jet Freeze, thanks for the 2 months. I recently found out that Amazon Prime in Australia for is actually cheaper than subbing to a channel directly on Twitch. Hey, it's all the same to me. I appreciate it. Thanks for dropping your Prime off. Like a Mosh, thanks for the 20 months. Can almost drink in Hoaglandia. Getting close. Yummy! Thanks for the 17 months. Welcome back. Thanks, Sadu. I appreciate the 2nd month. Gab, good morning. Interacting with Twitch chat in a way is kind of like practice for parenting in a roundabout sort of way. Yeah, I think this is like actually pretty reasonably positioned based on a lot of the stuff we've been playing against. A lot of the aggressive decks that are around are playing things that die to Bonecrusher Giant now, and ramping up into Niv-Mizzet or grabbing things with Fae of Wishes both sound pretty reasonable. Cardboard Tech, thank you for the entire year of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Anoma, thank you for the quarter of year. Welcome back. Basic island, and then they have something to do here. So we're going to see like a mono blue, perhaps. Yeah, we didn't quite go with the Elon Musk and turn her into a symbol. So Song of Creation is something we want at the end of our curve. It's not something we want to just play out here, obviously, because at the end of turn we discard our hand. So we'll want to play through the rest of what we have going on, and this will be the final thing that we drop into play. Looks like Jeskai, potentially a control deck. Like I said, there's been a lot of control on the ladder. The historic experience has been largely Teferi-based control and Wilderness Reclamation Nexus decks since they banned Winota. Okay, I think we just let this resolve, and then we'll end step the Brazen Borrower and attack Narset down. I mean, is she good against us? She just, like, draws a card and dies, right?
Have much to learn.
Let's do this now and see what we get. I didn't update the stream decker. Thanks for the heads up. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and stomp my own Brazen Borrower in response here because it counters their Bonecrusher Giant. So I kind of wanted to use my mana this turn anyways, and getting my hand empty has some upside. So remember, in order to go on an adventure, they need to have their spell resolve. So when I stomp my own thing, their stomp doesn't resolve, so this goes to the bin. It's beginning to feel a lot like magic with every Teferi down tick. He's sending it back to our hand and making us feel bad. It's beginning to feel a lot like magic. Alex White is fire. Thanks for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Just keeping me around. Shatter my sky, baby. Seeing a little bit of what potentially makes what we're doing just not good enough in the current format. You know, seeing the Niv-Mizzet get tempoed and then exiled without being able to draw any cards. Pretty big deal here. We'll see if our Song of Creation is going to give us the power we need to pull through here or not. This does put us up to 5 total cards in the bin for Uro at least, so that's nice. Oh, that's a good one. Teferi in every match. Hey, Hooker, thanks for the quarter of year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. It feels like so long since I've been timed out. Well, I mean, I can't just leave you hanging, Seth. Aim to please. Aim to please. Okay, so they're just getting back... They're getting back something next turn regardless. So I guess we start with this. Let's see where we go.
I'm getting too old for this. I won't let you win.
Huh? Well, we have a lot of cards. You know, part of me looks at this board and wonders, is there supposed to be a 4-mana Jace in my sideboard? Like...
My prowess is unmatched by my peers.
Oh, right. Narset's gonna come back. They're gonna shatter our sky.
Meditate.
And we just won't be able to draw more cards. Ay. Shatter in the sky.
Here we go.
Yep. And again, like, this is a good example of, like, you know, we theory crafted to start, like, maybe we could have something reasonable here that lets us go big against, like, what this opponent's archetype is doing. But Narset and these prison elements really just showing that it's difficult to attack these decks. And, like, that's really kind of highlights the challenge of these control decks in recent years, is that the types of things that are typically good ways to attack the opponent's archetype just get completely locked out by cards like these. very, very not satisfying experience. There aren't just like, yeah, yep. That's tough, and it's like I kind of feel like if like we can't be good against the control decks, like what are we kind of what are we doing with ourselves? Like what do we think we're good against if it's not the opponent's archetype? So when asking about climb decks, we're actually gonna play blue-green climb for the second time today. We played it once before. I thought about it a little bit. I made some changes to it.
Here goes nothing.
Yeah, I don't think we can win anymore from here. I mean, I guess we could draw. Oh, they down-ticked that. Okay, so if we draw a stomp, maybe, and then this just doesn't do anything, right? Like Teferi's ready to bounce this. This can't draw any cards because of Narset. So I'm gonna go ahead and pack it up, pack it in. And I click submit. Yeah, I actually think Grand Abolisher would have been a really fantastic way to template Teferi Time Raveler. I think if Teferi Time Raveler had been templated like Grand Abolisher with his static text, I think it would have been more than fine. I think that's one of the many different small things they could have done to make that okay. I think Magic's all, like, just by, like, the core designs of Magic the Gathering, Magic's a game that struggles to be interactive just because of the core game design of it. And then cards like Teferi and Narset exacerbate that issue that is already difficult to interact in this game. And honestly, like, this is a card that, like, at a base level, like, struggled to be good. And, like, the fact that Elspeth Conquers Death is, like, a card that the matches where this is supposed to be good is playable, kind of just renders this unplayable, right? I feel like I'd be surprised, like, where is this card really good? Like, this card was supposed to be a hoser for blue-white control, basically, right? Like, it was supposed to be like, okay, even if they Doomblade my thing, I still draw a card and deal a damage. And, like, that's just not the case anymore. There are going to frequently be times where... Yeah, I mean, like, and the first game was just, like, such a fantastic example, right? Like, we played our Niv-Mizzet ahead of curve, they bounced it, and then they Elspeth Conquers Death, and it just didn't matter. It's crazy how quickly babies look like their parents, like Haley already has your hair. They do not have a lot of hair to start, that's definitely true. I guess my big question, Mose, is the Niv-Mizzet plan better? Like, why aren't we just doing, like, why aren't we kind of just playing a standard deck, I guess would be my question. Like, is it like, we talked about no Giant and no Clover. Like, why are we not playing Giant or Clover? Yep. We're gonna go ahead and give it a fair shake. Like I said, play a few games. Plan to play, I don't know, 2-3 matches with the list as configured. See how it feels, give some thoughts on it as we go.
Why must we do things the hard way?
Yeah, I agree. I think even a world without Banishing Light, Niv struggles to really be playable. But in a world with Banishing Light, it's just like more obvious than ever.
I have just the trick for this.
Yeah, in a way, it feels a lot like that, TDM. Like, the removal of Winota as, like, the tier... And we're just dead at this point. Like, they've got us locked out. I can't draw cards to get out of it because of Narset. Even if they didn't have the seal away, I'd, like, attack Narset, and then they'd bring it back with Conqueror's Death right away. I'm just locked out from here. I get your donation for the Luxen deck. I think I did. Judge of Nature. Yes. Yeah, I definitely did Judge of Nature. I've not added it yet. I'll get that added after I'm done today. You're good. It came through. I'm excited to block a lot of people on Twitter today who give me crap for streaming. Because the perfect way to say that you don't stand up for people harassing other people is to harass people for what they're doing and living their lives. That's not hypocritical at all. In my opinion, I almost feel like I'm not allowed to say this because I'm a man, so maybe I should just shut my mouth. But I'm gonna say it anyways. So for people that aren't familiar and plugged into everything Twitch, there's a bunch of people today that are protesting issues that Twitch has had. I don't even fully understand the depth of the issues because I have a family and I haven't been keeping up with every little thing. But a number of Twitch streamers organized what they're calling a Twitch blackout today to protest, for what they're saying is to protest sexual assault. And obviously sexual assault is awful, and that's something that shouldn't happen, and it's something that people should talk about and address and should be fixed if it's happening. But rather than not showing up to work for a day, I think people will be much better served if they use their platforms to talk about those issues rather than just turning the lights off for a day and then coming back tomorrow like it's all the same. Something we talked about in the Discord server today is one of the good things that I think's actually come of all the crappy stuff that's happened. One of the good thing that's come from all of the crappy stuff that's happened is a year ago, I was one of the only people where you would like come into a stream and the rule wasn't no politics, leave, we can't talk about that. It was taboo. And today, in the world in which we're living, there is more activism from people using their platforms for good. And I think that's a good thing. And I think people using their platforms for good as opposed to just turning their platform off for a day is a much better use of it. And people are allowed to disagree with that, and they should do whatever they think is best. But in my opinion, I would rather use my platform for good rather than just like say, hey, I'm not showing up today, and then tomorrow I'm going to come back like everything's fine. God of Flesh, thank you for doling out some sub-gifties. I really appreciate the support. Welcome, welcome. The advantage of a blackout is it generates a lot of discussion that would... The advantage of a blackout is it generates a lot of discussion. I probably wouldn't have heard about the issues. But you would have, Joris. Like, if you actually listen to what I'm saying and you open your fucking ears, you heard about the blackout. But if the people who are blacking out would instead just use their platforms to talk about issues like this all the time, you would still hear about it. You're just pointedly wrong. You're pointedly wrong. Like, that's literally the point I'm making, is you're saying, well, we have to have this blackout to talk about this. It's like, you don't. People very, very easily could just be talking about the things that matter all the time on their platforms. But, like, if people who take the day off today refuse to talk about issues on their streams tomorrow, they're hypocrites. They're hypocrites in my opinion. I should have played this land last turn. We might get punished for that. I thought I was going to Lovestruck Beast, but I decided I'd rather bounce this.
The land shall conquer you.
I think we're going to die again. I think this is going to be another good example of how the estimation that I had to start's probably not completely accurate. You know, I talked about how, well, maybe this deck is good enough to go over the top of other things in this format, and it feels like, again, this is an entirely different deck, but our opponent's kind of showing us that, like, their deck is greedy in a way that's bigger than our deck. One justification for the blackout I could see is that it will cost Twitch money, but it's not necessarily going to do that. The blackout only costs Twitch money if viewers boycott. Like, viewers are the ones that need to not tune out if they think they want to cost Twitch money. Like, if a bunch of streamers, if half the streamers sign off and most of their viewers go watch someone else, like, that's, like, again, for people that don't understand how this industry works, like, if you're a streamer, every time you're not streaming, you are losing money. There's no union in this business. There's no paid time off. You're just fucked. I lost over 400 subscribers taking a week off when Haley was born. But that's just the facts. And honestly, my community's great. I lost fewer subs. 400 was a lower number than I was expecting to lose, because so many people are so great in this community, and they support me, and they understood what I was doing. Like, and I appreciate those people, but yeah, like, that's just the reality of it. Like, there's a reason why that week off was the longest I've ever taken off since I've started streaming. And we're dead here, right? Like, I can chump block this, but it's going to exile my deck because you can't really chump block this. And again, this feels like another good example of our deck just kind of getting big fished here. There's always a bigger fish. Lucas, thank you for the sub. And again, I appreciate the sub gifties, but that's not me trying to instigate those, right? Like, I just think it's good to be transparent so people understand, like, I think being transparent with my business is reasonable, because y'all are basically kind of like my bosses. You pay my salary. Tony Goodburger, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. People are fickle. I tuned out for a while, but the sub was so worth it to me. I get a value from your content. I appreciate that. And I know Magic ebbs and flows, and there's normal ebbs and flows. Cold Shoulder, thanks for the 22 months. Definitely can, Punchworthy. I am. You know, I'm not sure if this deck we're playing is very good, but I feel like I've adjusted my mindset and retempered my expectations, and we're losing games, but I feel like we're learning and taking things away from it, which is more important than winning games, I think. Like, having lessons learned is more important than getting random ticks on a ladder that ultimately doesn't matter. Plebs can totally bump decks. Yeah, we'll get Ugin Ramp bumped up for you. Thanks for watching, Sinestro. M21 does release tomorrow. So my plans for tomorrow, by the way, I talked about this a little bit yesterday, is that tomorrow and Friday, I'm going to be doing 2 Magic decks and 2 Legends of Runeterra decks, because I want to do a little bit of each, because I'm curious to see what the numbers look like, because my Twitch rep got me onto the front page of Twitch for tomorrow and Friday to help give me a little bit of a boost after taking a week off, which I greatly appreciate. So I want to split Magic and Runeterra time for that front page time tomorrow to see what the difference is between those 2 games when they're on the front page. I think there's a small chance the animations in Runeterra might hold a little bit more people. Mega Manic, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Thanks, Ruff. I don't have a list for stuff yet. I'm gonna build some decks tonight. Hey, that's plenty, Mega. Yeah, and actually the Climb deck is one that we had played once before. All right, sorry. I intentionally sneezed with my mute off there because I wanted to see if the RTX voice would filter out my sneeze. Turns out it doesn't. But I needed to know for science if the RTX voice was going to filter out the sneeze. I will continue to mute when I sneeze, but I needed to know. It's hard to test that not in the moment, but RTX voice. So RTX voice is software from NVIDIA that utilizes machine learning to filter out background noise on the computer. So actually, I'm ready to sit down. I believe it filters out my desk motors too. So I'm gonna put the desk down. So I'm not muted right now. The software is just filtering out the motors. So yeah, so it, like, my air conditioning unit, when it runs, you can't hear that. It doesn't, there's a toilet right up above me that if you listen really carefully in some of my old videos, you can hear the toilet bowl refill after it flushes. Some people have said you can finagle it on non-RTX cards, but it's more graphics intensive and hammers the cards a little bit more. I ended up picking up a 2080 Super because I had been eyeballing them anyways, but I'm told that people said you can finagle them. Do I have submissions waiting that haven't gotten emails back yet? I have a green leyline build that I've not responded to yet, but I've responded to all other deck submissions waiting in the queue. Well, after completely thrashing us game one, our opponent disconnected, so, you know, on the scoreboard. We take those around here. Jeff is a sound engineer now, thanks to December Black. Actually, fun story. I should have played Innkeeper on one, huh? Mistakes were made. I was clicking and talking and reading. I actually put myself through undergrad working as a live audio engineer. Worked in a couple of different small theaters in the Chicago suburbs, as well as a couple of different dive bars and outdoor festivals and stuff. Draw land! Draw land! Nailed it! I have no thoughts to erase, opponent. I am a Republican. Pyromankus, thanks for the biddies. I appreciate that. Welcome. Clips that'll get me right. You know, I almost didn't say it. You know, it's funny. We were talking in the politics channel in the subs Discord today, and I think at some point I would like to find out if the years of Twitch clips that exist for me make me unelectable. I think I'd like to run for some kind of office someday. There's a strong chance that I'm unelectable based on my gaming history, but we'll see, you know? If Trump's electable, maybe nobody's unelectable. And Gunther, thanks for the 12 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Still a number of cards off of escaping this. Thanks for the biddies, Bruno. That's not true. There's plenty of people with great moral compasses that are elected to office. In fact, something we've not talked about today, believe it or not, contrary to what Fox News has told you, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez re-won her primary by a flipping landslide last night. She won like 72% to 19% or something like that. Like just absolutely insane. She completely crushed her primary challenger. And I believe Jamal, I'm blanking on Jamal's last name, but another Justice Democrat progressive from New York, I believe, is set to beat his incumbent. Is it Bowman? Bowman his last name? Bowman. Okay. Yeah. He was projected to win unless a significant number of the absentee ballots. Yeah. Sounds good, Pyro. Fabiano, thanks for the 4 months. Our sideboard here is basically entirely a wish board, so we don't really have anything to bring in here. I'm gonna click submit. Yes, I hope Booker beats McGrath and KY as well. That's my hope. That's my hope as well. To McGrath's credit, McGrath was also trying to make sure people could vote. Neither Booker nor McGrath were responsible for the incredible, awful voter suppression that occurred in Kentucky over the weekend. You've since replaced Ox with Scorching Dragonfire. I don't think Scorching Dragonfire is a good card in the current format. I think a lot of this format's about going big and being greedy, and having more card advantage is good for that. McGrath is just a pretty typical. She's more similar to Biden than Ocasio-Cortez, Punchworthy. While they're certainly both better than Mitch McConnell, I would prefer the more progressive candidate get the seat in Booker. I think it's unfair to call McGrath a Republican. She's definitely a corporate stooge, crappy centrist, moderate, whatever you want to go in that direction. I think that's fine and more than fair. Wait, is she running as a pro-Trump Democrat? I hadn't heard that. Is that real? That can't be real, right? JP Miles, thanks for the 12 months. Welcome back. Well, if she actually said the word, nah, it's more like I'll work with the Republicans. Okay, sure. Unless she said, and again, a lot of things like that get twisted out of context. Something progressives are very guilty of doing is twisting words like that and taking them out of context.
Stand by and watch.
If she's actually pro-Trump, she should have been running to primary McConnell. She should not have been running in the Democratic primary.
That's more like it.
I do think that Democrats who make the statement they could work with Republicans are idiots or liars. Because they're idiots. They're either idiots because if they think they can work with Republicans, they haven't been paying attention to the last 20 years, or they're liars and they know what reality is, but they're saying it anyways.
Might be a bad idea.
Hey Zeram, thanks for the 29 months. Yeah, I've been Magic's been, well, I've had some tough times with Magic lately myself. We're trying to find some fun, but it's been a little bit of a struggle. This dude has a big presence in Magic right now. We are the questing beast looking for what? What is your quest? I seek the fun.
Trust me, I have a plan.
It's beginning to look a lot like Magic. Teferi in every match. Do 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 do. Do I want to Ox or do I want a Song of Creation? Song just gets bounced by Teferi, so I think I'm just Oxing. Yeah, I don't know, Bunchworthy. Like I said, I need to do. It sounds like I need to do some more research to have an opinion on McGrath. If she actually said the word, she's a pro-Trump Democrat. That doesn't sit well with me. But unless anybody has a clip to those words coming out of her mouth, I'd take that with a grain of salt.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Definitely feel like that could be a I could work across the aisle type comment that's taken out of context. And you think the new M21 Teferi power level? I actually think it's super reasonable. I think the planeswalkers in M21 are actually great designs. And something that I think gets a really bad rap in Magic, and from Magic players in general that really frustrates me, is that Magic players often like to say things like, you know, all planeswalkers are bad and stupid stuff like that, when in reality, it's just a very small subset of planeswalkers that are offensive. Most, even many of them, I would say, are more than fine. Weaponized ignorance, a good statement. All right, so reading that article, yeah, like that article that's linked there, Snow Source, and that was her pivot for the Mardu aggro deck. Sounds good, Fox. That article, and this is why context is so key. Like, even just skimming a few key paragraphs in that article, Snow Source, she did not say she is a pro-Trump Democrat. What she said was honestly the truth, right? She talked about how Trump made these promises and then nothing happened with them. He didn't actually implement or get any of the changes to happen that he said he was going to try and make happen. Because, like, he lies through his teeth. Like, when he's talking, he's lying. Like, again, if Trump actually did things like lowering prescription drug prices for people, that would be a good thing. Like, those things she talked about Trump promising to do would be good things. Trump's an awful person and a terrible president and a bad human being, but some of those things that they talked about there, those would be genuinely good things for people to have happen. Prescription drugs cost too much. That's just a fact. Yeah, it's derivative to say pro-Trump. That article is clickbait, and the context is removed. And that's very common. It happens in Magic, it happens in politics, it just happens in life in general. It's much easier to just read the headline and jump to a conclusion. If a headline validates your pre-existing feelings, it's very easy to not dig any deeper, because why would you want to dig deeper? Yeah, I can do that, Savid. I think I'm just passing here.
You know what? I'm not done yet. I've got it.
I feel like I need to expand that blackout command some more, because I've thought about it and talked about it some more. In fact, I think I'd like to remove the Grifflands comment altogether, because I just think the blackout in general is kind of silly. There's been a lot of mixed reception to it, looking at feedback from lots of different people online. And I think it's been appropriate that there's been mixed reception to it. I think rather than turning your platform off for the day, people should use their platforms for good, to amplify voices and talk about meaningful messages that they care about. People that are turning their streams off today. People that are turning their streams off today, that tomorrow will go back to not talking about politics on their streams, in my opinion, are hypocrites. I also saw some comments from people that were like, well, I'm not even a Twitch partner and I'm taking the day off. It's like, well, yeah, if you're not a Twitch partner, you probably don't derive your income from Twitch. Like, they're basically people trying to guilt people into giving up their income. And that's wrong. And like the protest, you're protesting. it, chat. You love to see it. Goodbye, friends. Sorry, the real social issues that we were talking about, you know, the people that are like trying to protest harassment and awful things, like harassing other people into supporting their cause, also seems counterproductive. Alright, I gotta see what the RTX laugh sounds like here. Hold on, I'm gonna mute my audio so just so I hear it. Wow. Wow, the RTX does not like my my robo laugh. What are your thoughts on our non-constructed Magic formats? I just don't enjoy non-constructed formats, Bib. And not to mention that a lot of the non-constructed formats like Cube on Arena are best of one. Thanks for 11 months, Zingzal. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Baltic Whiskey, thanks for the 2 months. Thanks for the congrats. Sure, but I also think, Green Prinny, that it's important to acknowledge that different people can help causes like this in different ways, and trying to guilt trip people or harass them into supporting the cause that the supporting this in the way that you think is best because some random person on Twitch decided that they wanted to black out for a day and we're all supposed to suddenly drop our prior commitments and do that because one random person decided that that was the best way to do this. Hey, yeah, thanks for the 2 months. The old mulligan to 4, get discarded, miss your 3rd color. Sure. Devrin, thanks for the 3rd of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I actually think what you said there would probably be much better than not being live for the day, little man. Go live, like having a bunch of streamers go live with a very clear message about like why they're not producing content for the day. And again, that's just like, there's things like that that could be done that communicate what you're looking to communicate better. Because that, like, even just think about, what if you're someone who is a streamer that just, like, doesn't normally stream on Wednesdays, right? Like, then, like, your audience just, like, you're off and they don't know that you support anything. Or, like, you know? Apparently, so I learned last night that I was partially wrong with my tweet. If you are only a Twitch affiliate, you apparently can stream on other platforms. I know as a Twitch partner, I lose my partner status if I live stream on any other platform. But if affiliates are allowed to live stream to other platforms so long as they're not simultaneously streaming to Twitch at the same time. So anybody that actually makes their living off of Twitch can't stream to other platforms. Yeah, Twitch has a non-compete because it's the biggest in the industry. Fun fact, as someone who's done a lot of research on this, Mixer, Facebook Gaming, all the other ones, none of them have non-compete clauses for their partners because they can't. They're not big enough.
Trust me. You'll thank me later.
Hey, Mixer doesn't exist anymore, correct. Mixer doesn't have any agreements or partners or streams. Accurate. Sad but accurate.
Now what?
Man, Ninja and Shroud, just like solidly wealthiest people in the industry at this point. Actually, do I kill this? I think I just play this and attack them, right? Because if I hammer their life total here, this is basically useless. I believe so, Butler, but I am not a lawyer. All right, are we gonna win off our Moldifor here? We might win off our Moldifor here, chat. Oh, Fling was lethal. That's fine. We knew the top card of their deck didn't do anything, right? We knew the top card of their deck was a blank because they didn't cast it. I would like to point out that my line was optimal because I would have gotten to draw another card if they hadn't conceded. Thanks for the 17 months, John. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Narset didn't rear her ugly head, and we won. This deck actually doesn't feel like it cares about Teferi a ton, so much as it really cares about Narset. Narset's really brutal for a deck that wants to try and draw a bunch of cards. So the 11 months, Mox Mulder, I appreciate that. Welcome back. This is a great tweet. Just AOC disliked, distrusted, unwanted in her own district. I thought she would be her savior, but that's not the case. Remember, her constituents are not impressed. Her constituents slam her over Amazon withdrawal. 72.8% in the primary. Sha. I guess you could argue. I guess you could argue that that these other three were fake news, huh? Well, Hydrol, thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Zenos, thanks for the 14 months. For people asking about my desktop background, it's very beautiful. It's beautiful. Do do do. Do 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 do. Starting tomorrow, Percy, I'm gonna be splitting my stream time a bit between Magic and Runeterra. I agree, Runeterra is really well done. I've enjoyed it a lot. I think we're going to end step Brazen Borrower here with the hope of drawing a land next turn to stick the Song of Creation. Hey, Nels, thanks for the 12 months. Yep, and planning to do... So again, because I believe in transparency and y'all are basically my bosses, so I like to communicate with you, I am going to be slowing down and rejecting deck submissions a little bit more aggressively than I previously had, and we're gonna be fitting in more decks of my choosing because I feel like Magic's in a tough spot right now that makes a lot of second-rate decks much worse than they've been in a long time. We're about to get Brazen Borrower here. Well, poop. I don't feel like playing a mirror, so I'm going to concede and try a different match for my last one. Yeah, they still have the bot match bug. We are over a month into that bug being in the production client. What are the odds it doesn't get fixed tomorrow? High? Are the odds high that it doesn't get fixed tomorrow? Shut up! No, give me a link. Pokemon MOBA? No, give me a link. Don't you lie to me. Don't you toy with my heart like that. Pokemon MOBA is confirmed. Holy crap. Listen. I have a capture card, chat. I have a capture card. Are we playing the Pokemon MOBA? Should we stream the Pokemon MOBA? Alright, who's with me? Who's with me if I stream the Pokemon MOBA? Alright. Hey, we're gonna figure it out. When does it release? What's the release? I'll look at it after this match. No release date yet announced. Pikachu cosplay stream what? Asking the real questions. Oh, that's gonna be real loud. Oh, you know what? There's probably music in that that's gonna get me copy struck, so let's not play that on stream. You just play this to draw 3? Thanks for the 45 months, Tron. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think I'm okay to trade these for ramp creatures at this point. They've all done their jobs. Each of these has been a divination. Trade it well. Yeah, our hand's super full. We got another one in our hand. We've got Song of Creation. You're fine, Cold Shoulder. Don't apologize for trying out sweet decks.
Harness the elements.
All right, what are we interested in doing here? I feel like I want to put more lands in play before I Song of Creation. Kill their land. How do we do that? Thanks, Marky. Yeah, Wish for Storm's Wrath is probably the line. Although I guess I shouldn't play that if I'm gonna Wish for Storm's Wrath, huh? Yeah, I should have. Should have just played a tap land instead of playing the other Innkeeper. So they have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They can Ulamog me here. I mean, if they have Ulamog, it doesn't really matter what they take, because I just can't beat the 10-10 that exiles my deck. Like, if they exile 2 red sources, I have another untapped one, so I can still Storm's Wrath them, I just, like, can't beat Ulamog. I guess if I draw a Brazen Borrower, we could maybe beat it. Oh, that bodes well for our hero. 7, 8, 9. So we're not getting Ulamog this turn. They're just like trying to save this from Storm's Wrath, but Bonecrusher's gonna finish it off.
Behold nature's true power.
The old make another land a 3/3 in the face of Storm's Wrath. Got it. Alright, so definitely messed up by playing out the second. Oh, I should have attacked them. Missed a whole bunch of damage here. Because I'm going to lose these anyways. Mistakes were made, chat.
Try my patience. I cannot.
Need a number of sequencing mistakes this game. We'll see if we're able to recover from it. Yep. Not often you want to bounce a, not often you want to bounce a Hydrate Crisis, but that's definitely a spot where we do.
The land fights for us.
Let's do this, see what happens. Okay, that's not bad.
Do not underestimate my
Escape
force.
cards here, go to the bin. If we can continue to fade Ulamog, we're in an okay spot.
Rise, my elemental friend. So the line here is stomp this, Do not assume I am fragile.
escape this, drawing another Brazen Borrower, and then we bounce the Ulamog, kill the Nissa so they can't recast it. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand. We'll make it, I swear.
I can help you now.
Do 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 do. Look at that, playing the outs and hitting them. That's good stuff. Yeah, the RTX voice does not like. I saw a couple of people post that RTX voice just completely filters out a number of women's voices. So it's kind of not surprising that when I get a little bit pitchy with my singing that it does some robotics things.
You show remorse, I'll show restraint. Let's try this.
Styles, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Little bit bitchy. Let's come on now. Come on, now I have feelings. Don't hurt them. I think I'm supposed to ignore Teferi and kill them. And then we're just end-stepping 2 Brazen Borrowers here.
That's more like it.
Sorry, I made the critical mistake of assuming that I was playing Magic the Gathering, and it turns out that I'm currently playing Hearthstone. Are they dead anyways? They're dead anyways. They're dead. God bless. Alright, didn't matter. That card is such a goddamn stain. It's so awful. They're declaring Jamal Bowman winner in his primary, officially. Close enough, not officially. 61 to 34. For people that aren't familiar and weren't following that race, Jamal's opponent was an incumbent corporate Democrat who was endorsed by Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton. And Jamal Bowman is a Justice Democrat and a progressive. I know it's very easy if you're a progressive to feel very sad and feel like Biden winning over Bernie was the only thing that matters, but there's a lot more than the presidency that matters in American politics. Filling the House and getting some progressives into the Senate as well is huge. No, that's a different one. That's the KY race, Jareth. You're thinking of Booker and McGrath. Angle and Bowman is for a New York congressional seat. Yeah, Booker's hasn't been called yet versus McGrath. Neither Booker nor McGrath are incumbents. AOC's primary was a massacre, Hammy. She won with 72%. Can you explain the terms a bit for a Canadian? The lower house in the United States, the congressional house, serve 2-year terms. So every 2 years they're up for election. And then what currently happened isn't actually the actual election. It's currently just the primary. So Jamal Bowman and Ocasio-Cortez will be the Democrat on the ticket for the general election in the fall. And then the Booker McGrath race is for a Senate seat, and Senate seats are 6 years. And if whoever of McGrath or Booker wins their primary in Kentucky, they'll be up against Moscow Mitch in the fall. You know, I've honestly, the more I think about it, the more I think the more I think about it, the more I think Nexus of Fate is probably fine in Historic. And the problem child, much like in Standard, is almost assuredly Wilderness Reclamation. Yeah, free mana is busted. Turns out. Yeah, Reclamation and Teferi just get him out of every format. Turn 3 Karn Daddy, thanks for 17 months. I mean, dude, and a lot of people here won't remember this, but like, there was a time before RNA in GRN Standard, Nexus of Fate was legal and not oppressive. And in fact, there were some really sweet take all the turns decks before Reclamation was legal that were awesome and required a lot of setup and were very novel, and they didn't just start taking all the turns on turn 5. I think Nexus is actually kind of an appropriate payoff if there isn't just something like Reclamation cheating your mana attacking back. Yeah, that's the Esper Amulet deck. Yeah, right, Saban? Yeah, Wizards' management of their formats has not given me a particular large amount of optimism in recent memory. Alright, so do I Niv-Mizzet? I think I'm supposed to double Adventure Creature here, because I think we could. Do we get Ulamog next turn? This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we can get Ulamog next turn, so I think I just go wide here. Wizards' management of their formats has given me so much confidence that I'm planning on selling out of my paper collection, which can be as best described as playsets of most of the sets in Pioneer, plus some extras. Yep. Someone asked me if I'd seen the Runeterra patch notes. I had. I tweeted about the card changes that they had that were mentioned in those, and I'm really happy with pretty much all of them. We're gonna be dipping into some Runeterra again tomorrow and Friday. Hey, awesome, Kyle. Yeah, Vampires is one of the decks I want to get back around to playing some more of on stream. I think that one has a lot of potential. Bonecrusher Giants is a phenomenal draw here. They get to go ahead and attack with all of these in, and then if they Hydroid Crisis block the Lovestruck Beast, I get to stomp to finish this. Hello, girls.
I thought you might be hungry, so I brought you a burrito.
A burrito, baby.
Look at the burrito.
You like your little wrap? Dad's sitting today. Usually I'm standing up when you come in. You looking around? Hello. Hello, little miss. Look at you holding your head up. You're so big. So they're at 4. Big stretch. We got a bow over the ice. I think we're just killing the Hydroid Crisis here. I need to give you a close up. Look at her. Look at our burrito. Good girl.
Oh, there's a burp. Isn't Fling lethal? Oh, I keep forgetting about the Fling lethals. It feels like they have a counterspell here. Okay, sweet. So they're doing that, and I think we just wish Banefire now. I hope they don't have another Gust next turn.
Are you a real doctor or an internet doctor?
God bless you, little miss. Big sneezes for such a little girl. Your dad talks to people on the internet all day. God bless you.
Or did the card block it out?
It does not filter out sneezes. So I guess they can Krasis for a bit here again. They can tap out and Krasis for 10 total, which gains them 5 up to 9.
Yeah, but her sneezes are cute.
Your sneezes are cute. You're very awake. Did you just wake up?
Food.
So remember, they do have 4 mana available here. So if I attack with everything, they block my 3 and my 5. They take 2 down to 6, and then I could technically Banefire them for lethal. So I think we attack and just hope for no second Aether Gust here.
I don't recommend my weight loss program. It's traumatic.
What do you think? Was Mom's weight loss program traumatic? Oh. Well then. Can I get an F in chat? They settled our wreckage, baby girl. Are you ready for more to eat? We're rooting around a little bit. I think we might be hungry, Mom.
You just ate.
We just ate. She's a hungry girl. She's got a lot of growing to do.
Can't tell chat. I call her the princess, and Jacob said that I'm the dragon because every princess story needs a dragon.
You're the dragon?
He's a knight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, he wants to protect the princess.
Yeah, but every princess story needs a dragon, so Mom's a dragon. But he said Declan could be a witch and you could be the king. What do you think?
The audio filters out my wife. Oh yeah, RTX is sexist, by the way.
That's
So
rude.
they just can't hear you. It when I get pitchy while singing, it also filters me out a little bit.
That's like seems like a serious flaw.
That's what happens when your machine learning data set is biased. You can hear her a little bit. Okay.
I'm also far away from it, so maybe
Oh, yeah, that's true.
far from the microphone.
Filtering out Jeff singing is a flaw. Yes. Yes, it is.
I don't know. You don't want a DMCMA takedown, right? What's it called? The DMCA?
Hey, no worries, Contagion. Thanks for the support. Stay safe out there. All right. All things considered, to set a low bar, this was the most fun we've had playing Magic this week, I think. And we lost some games. We had pretty good
pretty good sets overall. I feel like Niv-Mizzet just really isn't a playable card. I kind of feel like after playing through those games that we had there, this aspect of the deck is probably just worse than, like, playing, like, the Temur Adventures deck from Standard that was popular in recent memory. Like, just having a bunch of clovers and other pieces of top end, like Escape the Wilds, is probably ideal to be a little bit more consistent. Niv, like, if you didn't catch the very first set that we played, it really kind of highlighted how clunky and awkward this card is. Niv, once upon a time, was supposed to be like a bomb that's really good against control decks, and in a world where those control decks have Teferi to bounce it, and Elspeth Conquers that to exile it without letting you draw a card, this just isn't good enough, I don't think. So I think rather than having this kind of top end, I think just playing the, you know, Escape the Wilds, the Giant to ramp, Clover is probably a better thing to be doing with this archetype than trying to do what this is doing here at the top. All right, up next, I've mentioned that I'm going to be making a point to fit in more decks that I would like to work on and play into the lineup. Up next, we are going to kick the tires on an old favorite that I really enjoyed that felt okay last time we played it in Historic. So I'm going to hit a quick ad roll while I get everything flipped over. When we get back in just a few minutes, we are going to play some Blue-Green Climb in Historic and see if this can feel reasonable a second time through.